Hello V6. Today's numeracy lesson begins with a money mental maths warm-up. So today we are going to have a go at completing a money grid. Now you might have done these before, but don't worry if you haven't. So you will be able to print out our money grid, and what you have to do is add up each row and each column to work out how much money there is in each row or each column. You have spaces to write your answers down the left hand side for the rows and across the top for the columns. So for example, in grid number 1, if I look across the very first row, well, I've got a 5p, a 10p, a 5p and another 2p. So if I wanted to know how much money I had altogether, well, I find it easiest if I start with the biggest coin. So 10p, add 5p, add 5p, there's 20p, add 2p. Altogether, that's going to add up to 22p. What about in the second row? Well, I've got a 20p, a 1p, a £1 coin and another 1p. So £1, 20, £1.21, £1.22. So I start with my pound sign and that one adds up to £1.22. Now, do you remember one of the really important things when we do money? If we have a pound sign at the start, we do not put p at the end of the amount. So pound sign 1, dot, then the 22, don't put a p. What about in the next one? I've got 20p, £1 coin, 20p, £1 coin. So two £1 coins, there's £2, 20, 40, £2, 40. And down onto the last line of this one, I've got a £1 coin, two 20p's and a 2p, so £1, £1.40, £1.42. So I've added up the rows going across. I've added the 4 coins to get the total. And if it's over £1, I begin my answer with a pound sign. What about then looking at the totals? If I add up each column, I write the answer up at the top. So in this one, I've a 5, 20, 20 and a £1, so £1.45. So I write my answer in there and so on. Work out your answer for that column, write your answer at the top, and we keep going. P6, if this is something that you find hard, instead of doing this activity, why don't you get a selection of coins in your house and why don't you have a go at adding together those coins? Just pick through coins or so at random and see what you get when you add them up together. So that's our mental maths warm up, but today's main lesson today is all about direction. Now, today we are revising what we learnt in P5. And in P5 we looked at the compass points on what's called a compass rose, and you'll remember that the 4 main points on a compass are north, south, west and east. So north and south face each other, west and east face each other. Do you remember any of the rhymes to help you remember the order of those points? Well, if we're going clockwise, the way the hands and the clock go, if we're going clockwise around the compass from north and back round to north, well, the way I remember it is this one: never eat shredded wheat. NESW, never eat shredded wheat. Lots of people I know love this rhyme: naughty elephants squirt water. So naughty elephants squirt water. Do you have a rhyme of your own that you use to help you remember the points of the compass? Perhaps you could tell it to somebody else in your family. But of course in P5 we learnt that there are more than 4 points on a compass, and we started using the 8-point compass rose. So can you remember what comes between north and east? Well, between north and east, of course, has to come northeast. Now, when I write the points of a compass, I can write them in full. I could write the full words northeast, but it's okay just to shorten that down to NE for northeast. In the same way, I could write north just as N, east as A, S for south, W for west. That's absolutely fine. So northeast comes between north and east. What comes between south and east? Yes, of course, it has to be southeast. Between south and west, we have southwest. And between north and west, we have northwest. So those are the main points of a compass, but when do we use them? Well, we use compass points particularly if we're looking at a map. Maps are used, we use compass points to help us find our way around a map. So if I was looking at this map of Northern Ireland and I wanted to know, if I started in Bangor and I wanted to go to Downpatrick, well, there's Bangor, there's Downpatrick. So I'm basically going in a southerly direction. If I travelled south from Bangor, I'm going to arrive in Downpatrick. What could I say if I was going from Ballymena to Larne? Well, if I was going that way across, if I think about the points of my compass, I would be travelling east. I would be going that way, so I would be travelling east. What about if I was going from Omagh to Enniskillen? What direction would that be from Omagh to Enniskillen? Yep, that would be southwest, wouldn't it? Maps are useful to help us find our way around, but we need to know our points of the compass so that we can use those words to help describe what it is that we are doing. Now, P6, for your task today, first thing I want you to do is go to BBC Bitesize. And in BBC Bitesize, there is a little section in Bitesize that reminds you all about maps. Watch the video because it tells you more about using a compass, and there is some more information for you to have a go at and a little quiz for you to try. But once you've done that, I want you to have a go at today's written activity. Now, for today's written activity, you could choose perhaps to write on the page. And the first thing I want you to do is I want you to think about what each of these arrows is showing us. In which direction is each arrow pointing? You can write your answer just on the page. So arrow number 1, if it's pointing straight up, if that must be north. Number 2, if it's pointing to that side, well, what's that? That's going to be east. So write your answers in which direction is each arrow pointing. Have a go at the challenge question once you've done that. Can you write some pairs of directions that are opposite each other? So we know that north and south are opposite each other. Can you find any other pairs that are opposite? Then you've got a maps challenge. So you've been given this map, and what you need to do is you need to work out where each place is in relation to each other. So this is a map of a theme park with lots of different water activities to be done. And what you need to do is work out where you would go. So for example, in this question, it says go east from Super Slide. Well, there's Super Slide. Now you've got a compass on your page. So east, we're going that way. So we're going to the right. So if I'm at Super Slide and I went east, I would be going and I would end up at Riptide. So from Super Slide to going east, I would end up at Riptide. So what direction is the arrow going in? Where would you end up? Where would you get to if you followed those instructions? And for today's final activity, we're going to look at this map. And this is a map of a country called India. And we have, again, we've got our compass or our compass rose at the top of the page with our 8 main points on it. And again, what you need to do is see if you can work out in which direction approximately you are going to get from one city to another. So in question number 1, if you're going from Delhi to Lucknow, well, find Delhi first of all on your map. Okay, so there's Delhi. We're travelling this way. So approximately what way am I travelling? We'll find it on your map or on your compass rose. I will be travelling southeast. So the answer for that one would be southeast. For today's activity, P6, we're all doing the same activity because it's revision. So best of luck, watch the BBC Bitesize videos and then have a go at today's 2 main activities. Good luck.